Devin Haney says Tank Davis is using the cop-out excuse to avoid fighting him. Let's talk.
Straighter, not a roundhouse right hand.
And that's what we've been talking about. The straight shot is the one where he gets leverage on it.
I don't want to kill somebody
back
for
a little bit.
seconds.
Nah, I want a body on my record.
Now, I want to see you fight motherfuckers. I do. All right, I'm with you. I'm with you. As long as you're trying to fight the great, the best competition.
Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link if you dare to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you. Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link if you dare to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you. Yo, it's the best, fight the best. If you ain't with the moto, just click the link, bitch, and get buried like the rest. It ain't gonna work how you want it. These trolls already tried, too many come but don't leave. So if you hear, you gotta die. I'm spitting straight facts. These bitches crying cause they hate that. The LDBC's the top topic, bitch, hate that. We the ones that bring the truth to these fans. So while you hate, I'ma laugh and keep counting these bands. Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link, get prepared to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you. Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link if you dare to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you.
Welcome to the graveyard.
So in an interview with Tank Davis, Tank said that he's making 5 times as much as Devin Haney. Devin Haney was interviewed and was asked about that, and he said, so Tank Davis is making $25 million per fight, cap. And that, as a matter of fact, he makes more than Tank Davis per fight. That's what Devin said. So let's break that down. If Devin is saying that Tank, because Tank said he makes 5 times as much as Devin. Well, Devin said, then I guess he makes $25 million a fight, which essentially is telling everybody that Devin makes $5 million per fight. Tank Davis's guarantees are $1 million a fight. The numbers are out there. Anybody can go look. This is no shade or disrespect. Those are just the facts. Tank Davis's guarantee were his highest guarantees to fight people is $1 million. Devin's highest guarantees, apparently right now from what he's saying, is $5 million. So if he's making $5 million a fight, there are some things about that. $5 million a fight. Dev is saying, you are talking about money as a cop-out excuse to avoid me. That's the only reason why you're bringing up money in the first place. Why else would you bring it up? You don't bring up money to fight anybody else, to avoid anybody else. Tank, in my opinion, everybody knows how I feel when I give my opinion about Tank and you know where he's at. And I'll save that for another video, but that's not what this is about. Devin is saying that Tank is using the money as an excuse, as a cop-out. He is saying that this man is saying that he makes 5 times as much, so that's the reason why he don't have to fight him. It does make it look that way, right? It makes it look there. I'm not going to say it makes it look fully as that's the reason why, but there's a hint of it, right? It makes it look like, bro, why are you talking? We know you make a lot of money. We know you make a lot of money. Well, why are we talking about that you make 5 times as much more? You make 5 times as, you definitely make more than Ryan Garcia. That's not even close. Not even close. You make more than Ryan. You make more than pretty much everybody you fought. And we all know that the back end bread at PBC is a different story than the guarantees. We know that PBC's model is to get a small guarantee, sell the fight, and then get big back end bread, right? And it's a smart model. There's nothing wrong with the model. It's a very smart model. And it can aid in making big fights. And don't worry, you'll see that on another video. But your guarantees is what everybody knows, right? And that's the issue with Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, the guarantee of $20 million, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. If that fight happens, if it doesn't, whatever. But that everybody knows that the issue is the upfront money, the guarantee. That's the issue. Well, with the upfront money, Dev makes more than Tank. Those are facts. The back end bread can differentiate. You know, depending on how well the fight sells, it can be a lot. Or if it doesn't sell, it could not be a lot, right? You have a guarantee of X. And then based on how the fight does, you have Y and Z. Fight does great, a lot of money. Fight does trash, not so much. But you have a guarantee of a minimum of $1 million. That's how Tank's deal is structured. That's how the public knowledge of his deal is structured. Everybody can look at that yourselves. You can't look at his actual contract, but you can look at how much he's been making for his guaranteed purses for all of his fights, and it's no more than $1 million guaranteed, right? Well, Devin's, from this article, from what he said, Devin's is $5 million. He makes $5 million. So essentially, Devin makes 5 times as much as Tank Davis. So when Devin says you're using the money as a cop-out excuse to not fight me, there's some validity behind that. There's definitely some validity, right? If you're saying, oh man, this was a cop-out, and you can back it up how I just did, then there's some validity to it. Dev goes on to say the following. I never said I wanted the Mickey Mouse belt, the WBA regular. He can drop the belt, said Devin Haney to Fight Hype. They're, the WBA, going to drop the belt anyway. The WBA isn't going to hold the regular champions. They're getting ready to drop the belt. So he, Tank Davis, can come challenge me for my WBA belt or whatever. Now, that is a fact. The WBA is working to get rid of all of the WBA regular belts. They're just going to be a WBA super champion. They've already done it in multiple divisions, multiple weight classes. There's only a few weight classes right now that still have the WBA regular belt. They've got rid of a lot of them already. I don't know why they didn't get rid of all of them already. It would have cleared some things up in the WBA. But whatever. Dev goes on to say the following. If he really wants the fight, he can get the fight. All he has to do is tell Gilberto Mendoza, hey, I'm dropping this belt. I want to fight for the real belt, and the fight can be made. My main focus is George Kambosos. Once we're victorious, we can talk about what's next. That's nuts what he is saying. He's making $25 million a fight. Said Haney in reaction to Tank, saying he's making 5 times more money than him. Everybody knows that's cap. If he was making $25 million a fight, it would show. He hasn't gotten nothing better than me. Everything he's got, I got. Nobody believes that anyway. That was just a cop-out to deflect people from saying, why don't you fight him? He wanted to run his money route. We all know the truth. He's not for sure making 5 times more than me. He's not even making more than me. If you guys are looking at what Devin just said, and in all honesty, it's pretty much all one-sided. It's all coming from Dev. You know, Tank saying that Devin is clout chasing him. And I have an issue with that, because if Devin is calling for Tank and Ryan is calling for Tank, but Ryan is doing all kind of things, pulling out of fights, but they're still negotiating with Ryan, and they negotiate again, and then Ryan goes the Pacquiao route, and they scrap the fight, then they negotiate again. Then Ryan claims mental illness, and they scrap the fight, then they negotiate again, and now here's Ryan right again fighting a bum, and now they're negotiating again. Ryan's talking about the only way the fight's going to happen is if we fight at 140. It's not happening, no, nothing. Then you negotiate again. But when Devin said we got to fight at 140, the whole world stopped. So then, you know, Ryan and they say they're the A side. Oscar De La Hoya and Ryan, they're the A side. Ryan's the A side to everybody down there. And then they end up negotiating again, but nobody's really calling Ryan Garcia a clout chaser. They're actually negotiating. Now, I don't agree with that stance that Team Davis is taking. I don't agree with it at all. I don't think he's a coward or nothing like that. I think he's a killer, but I don't agree with their stance. But I'm curious of what y'all think. Do y'all think by Tank Davis using the money when he's not really making more money than Devin, guarantees? Now, back ends he might be. Maybe more than likely he is on the back end, Brett. I don't know. But what I do know is on the front end, the guarantees, he is not making more than Devin. But again, I'm asking you guys, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Is this a cop-out excuse from Tank to not fight Devin? Let me know. BFTB, shout out to the mighty LDBC, and I'm out.